Happy December, everybody. Thanks for being on the call today. We're coming into the final stretch of the year, so a lot of us kind of downshift from our normal marketing, our normal activity, but Jerry reached out to me last week and said we probably should not do that. So Jerry, can you kind of bring us up to speed on why that may not be the case this year? Oops.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody. The big bad boogeyman came to roost. We've been telling you, I'm just kidding, guys, but in all seriousness, we've been talking about this for a while, about with rates, we don't know what's going to happen. It might be 2 weeks, it might be 3 weeks, it could be a week, whatever it is. But we've had this fantastic product from Mass Mutual, the Legend 7. Still a fantastic product, but what have we been saying over and over again? Don't wait, because there's a million different reasons on why they could lower rates. It could be they get too much business. It could be some little shifts in rates. There's just so many reasons why that could happen. Well, guess what? December 7th, which is coming up here in about 3 days, they're lowering the rates on that Legend 7 product. So we had our guaranteed cap of 11.25%. That's now going down to 10%. And 10% is still good. Don't get me wrong, love 10%. But 10% isn't as good as 11.25. So I say this, and we've been kind of saying this over and over again, go talk to your clients about this, because don't wait. They might come up to you and be like, hey, I got some updates, some things I want to go over, and you're going to have to go ahead and be a little pushy or salesy or whatever, because guess what? This thing's moving down in 3 days. And if they say, well, no, hey, that's fine, come back and visit with me after the holidays. I got the holidays going on. We can check then. Guess what could happen by then? Rates could go down another time by then. It can move fairly quickly, and I've seen that in the MIGA space too as well. I think a lot of you guys, if you looked at Delaware Life and Athene, they came out and raised their MIGA all the way up to 6.15, and what did they do? Literally 3 weeks later, we had movement in the Treasury, and they knocked it back down to 5.85. So I'm going to be the pushy sales guy on that and tell you guys, get out and talk to your clients. Don't wait till after the holidays to go let them know about these rates. Otherwise, it's going to be late. And if you come up to them and you say, hey, I could have talked to you earlier and a little bit earlier, and you could have got a better rate, but I didn't want to bother you because of the holidays, what do you think they would think? I'd be pissed. I'd say, why didn't you at least let me know about it and give me the opportunity to tell you no? So get out there and tell them. Kind of a thing I saw over the weekend here as well. There's an article from the Business Insider, and it was from ING Economics, and they said the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates 6 times in 2024 as the economy shows clear signs of cooling down. So this is an economic group here talking about this. I saw this in the Business Insider, but that's one of those things right there, just kind of coming up here. There's people that are starting to talk about, hey, it looks like we may be getting the interest rate cuts that are in the know. So again, that's one of those things. Now is the time. If you haven't gone out and talked with people, if you're being a little slower on getting some of your replacements done because you kind of figure, hey, I'll stretch this out over the next year. It's starting. We're starting to make that shift here, as we've been seeing, where we may start seeing those lower interest rates, and we've certainly seen it with the Mass Mutual product. So just want to encourage you guys. Go ahead, reach out to Dan, Nate, myself. We'll help you with that stuff. Let's get that stuff buttoned up. Get out and talk to your clients. If you have some people that you were looking at that 11.25 here before that rate change that's coming up on the 7th, so you need to get that business in, you can talk to myself, Dan, or Nate about the rules on that. But go ahead and get that stuff in, okay?
Can I make 2 points or emphasize one point? One point you made,
Absolutely.
and then make another point. So, guys, it went from 11.25 down to 10. With $1 million that I put in, some of it went in at 10, some of it went at 11.25. I'm just as happy with the 10, guys. What is the market averaged over the last 100 years? Anywhere, depending on what number you want or what year you want to start, it's anywhere between 7% and 10%, somewhere in there. Yeah, Mark says 8. So yeah, somewhere between that 7 and 10%. So a 10% cap is still awesome, but. Jerry did touch on this, but I want to be clear. If you call your clients right now and say, let's meet, what are 90% of the clients going to say? If you call your clients right now and say, hey, let's meet, I got some fun stuff to go buy you, what are 9 out of 10 clients going to say? Later, that's right. We're in the middle of the holiday season. And again, guys, how much time do people actually spend during the holiday season? I mean, people are not busy 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week during the holiday season, but their mindset is what? Let's just do this after the holidays. You're going to, as their advisor, they've hired you to be their advisor. That means you need to say what? Now, here's the thing. We have an opportunity that we can take advantage of in December where you can get a 10% rate of return with no loss, up to a 10% rate of return with no loss. Can I at least go over this with you? Because I don't know if this is going to be available, and I have the likelihood, because interest rates are going to be moving down, likelihood this will not be available after the holidays. We need to meet now. If you say no, I'll still talk to you after the holidays. That's okay, but it's my job as your advisor to make sure you understand that this opportunity is available now, and it may not be available after January 1st. Can we get together for an hour just so I can walk through this with you? It could be a webinar. It could be one-on-one, whatever. Let's do this. Otherwise, Mr. Client, have I fulfilled my job as an advisor if I've told you it's available and you say no, and then it goes down? Will you hold me accountable, or am I off the hook then? I mean, guys, how hard is it for you to do that? And are you off the hook? If they say no, let's wait till after the beginning of the year. Are you off the hook? Yes or no? Y or N? But if you decide to, I don't want to rock the boat, I don't really want to upset them, and I know they really don't want to meet with me during the holidays, so I'm going to just cross my fingers and hope. Guys, are you being an advisor then, or are you being a wimpy salesperson? Are you being an advisor? Are you being a wimpy salesperson? Well, I really don't want to rock the boat. I really don't want to call them during the holiday season. I don't want to be talking about selling them something. Guys, are you talking about selling them something right now? If you say, listen, there's an opportunity here. We can get up to 10% rate of return with no risk to your principal. I'd like to talk to you for an hour before the end of the year. Are you selling if that's the way you approach your clients? What are you doing? Are you being an S for salesperson or an A for an advisor? S or A? Yeah, you're being an advisor. That's right. Everybody's saying advisor. So sorry, Jerry. I know there's something else you want to cover here, but guys, please, please, please. I know that they don't want to meet with you. Your job as an advisor, though, is to say, listen, there's an opportunity here. That's my job as an advisor. You're here to say yay or nay. If you say nay, cool. We'll talk about it after. If you say yay, let's get together for an hour, whether it's on the computer, one-on-one, whatever it may be. But you got to do it because I guarantee you, Jerry, are we going to see rates go back up to 11.25 on the Mass Mutual?
I don't think so. I mean, that's
if you're
pretty
a
crazy
person,
rate. So
well, yeah.
If I'm betting, it's not. I think kind of like I was just talking about, the way the winds are kind of moving, it looks like we're more likely to have interest rate cuts than interest rates going up. So I think, I kind of think this is just more my feeling on it. Mass really wanted to put a really attractive rate out there and take advantage of that. And so I don't think we will. Yep. But the 10 is awesome. I mean, we may not see 10 again. Yeah. We're at 10. So jump on that one. I know, that's still, like you said, I mean, the market over 100 years has been between 7 and 10%. So to be able to have a guaranteed, rate there is phenomenal. And
guys, guaranteed for how many years? That cap is guaranteed for how many years? Let's see how many people have been paying attention for the last month and a half. How many years is that cap of 10 guaranteed? So Dale's got it. Everybody answer this. Mark's got it. Nick's got it. Okay, everybody's getting it. 7 years. They can't change that on you for 7 years. That means every year you don't have to make an explanation to your client about why it's different than it was last year. This is no black box. This is about as black and white as you can get. Cap. Here's what the S&P 500 is at the end of this year. Here's what last year. Here's what at the end of this year. Let's subtract, divide by. There's the rate of return. Lo and behold, boom! It worked exactly the way we said it was going to work 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. 6. Guys, this is not going to happen again. Please, please, please. And I know that we've been hammering this, but we've been hammering because we knew the rates were going to start to change, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You've already missed on the 11. Your clients have already missed on the 11.25. Don't let them miss on the 10, and then the 9, and then the 8, and then the 7. Even 7 is good, guys. Even if they're a guarantee, 7% cap, I'd be happy. But why would they want a 7 when they can get 10? Makes sense. And sorry, Jerry. So you had another announcement you want to make?
Amen. No, that's what I had here. Those are the two big things there. So.
Oh, I thought you said that there was a MIGA you were going to talk about.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm sorry, that totally slipped my mind there for a minute. Silly me, guys. There's we have a new MIGA that's actually coming out. It's launching today. It's an ECA exclusive, so this is the first place that you guys are going to be able to hear about it. But it's with a B+ carrier, phenomenal carrier. We partnered up with Wichita Life. This is an exclusive to ECA right now, and you may see it elsewhere at some point in time. But we're handling everything in house here through ECA. It's got the best rate in the entire country right now in a 5-year MIGA. So we're talking about a 6.5% compounding rate from Wichita Life on a 5-year product. So just like anything else, obviously it's that rate stays there until it doesn't. But it's got limited states currently right now. So there's about 10 states, and there's new states that are opening up on it. So you can call in and we can talk to you if it's available in your state, or let you know what those states are. There's no free withdrawals on it, but there is a rider that you can add to it if you want to have free withdrawals on it. But I know a lot of you guys, if you're just using MIGA, you like to use it just to be able to catch some rate. But if you do want free withdrawal, I believe it's a 0.15 fee to go ahead and add the free withdrawal rider on there for 10%. So you go from 6.5 to 6.35, and then so I think it's a good, simple product if you're looking to get some big rate and you want to have the best rate out there. This MIGA product is a good one for that. Again, it's limited states right now. More and more states are opening up as it goes. But if you want to get some more, have some questions, want to get some more details on that, again, go ahead and hit up Nate, Dan, or myself, and we can let you know if that's available in your state.
Ron has a quick question for you. Is it RMD friendly?
Yes. Yep. It is RMD friendly. So if you need to be able to get RMDs out, you can't get them out. Good question.
Perfect. Awesome. Good. So guys, lots of reasons to talk to your clients between now and the end of the year, because who knows if that 6.5 is that 6.5% locked in for any period of time, Jerry? Could they change that 3 weeks from now?
They could change it. They could change it tomorrow if they wanted to.
Okay, guys, make sense? Please call Dan, Nate, or Jerry and coax your clients. You are their advisor, not the salesperson. So give them advice to meet with you before the end of the year. Make sense? And actually, so anything else, Jerry, or you gave us a lot to chew on today already? So
I think that's it. Equitrust still has great carrier. They still got their 1% comp special too as well. So their products, we've been talking about them, and a lot of you guys use them already as it is because they have some of the highest rates out there. But they have that special extra 1% going through the end of January 31st. That's on all applications that are submitted by January 31st. I did have a few people that were confused and thought that was December 31st, but they got to be turned in by January 31st. So you still got a little bit more time on that, but talk to people about that. They got their market value, their market 5 index products, which is one of the best 5-year index products out there if you're looking for something short term. 10.5% S&P cap, 5.5% fixed rate on it, 10% free withdrawal. I think street comp on that's 5%, and then they have their big bonus products too. So that's been something that's kind of been flying off the shelf. If you haven't heard about that, that's a great opportunity there. And then obviously I'll just make one more reminder on that. With the replacements out there still, I know Nate and Dan, they've been calling and talking with you guys as well. But that keep going through and helping clients on that stuff, because as soon as interest rates go down and there's no more opportunity, those opportunities are done. So that's those are just some of the pertinent things I wanted to go over with you, and look forward to chatting with all of you guys this week on the call, or during the week here when we chat with you.
Super. Thank you very much, Jerry. Exciting stuff.
Thanks,
Mike. And all that stuff we're talking about actually can generate more referrals. So I'm going to actually talk about referrals today. So because if you're talking to your clients about it, there's a lot of other advisors who are saying, well, this is the holiday season. I don't really want to buy. Just the thing I warned you against not doing your competition is doing that. They're saying, I don't really want to bother my clients during the holiday season. Besides that, December's kind of my month off. I'm not going to, maybe I'll tell them about this stuff after the holidays. Guys, if you're telling your clients about it, don't you, people are seeing their friends during the holiday season. They're seeing their relatives during the holiday season. Don't you think that they might be bragging about this awesome thing that they got? Now would be the time to be doing that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about referrals today, the science of referral marketing. And a lot of this has come from a study done by Cerulli and Associates on referrals and what generates them. So performance has little to do with referrals. Why? Why do you think performance has little to do with referrals? Why do you think it has little to do with referrals? Because I've talked about this before. If you make somebody 30% next year, does that make them happy? If you make somebody 30% next year, does that make them happy? No, it does make them excited. Absolutely, it makes them excited. It makes them excited. But how long will they remember that? If their account goes from $1 million to $1.3 million, how long do they remember that? Do they go out and buy a new car? Do they go out and change their vacations? Do they go out and buy a new house? How does that change their lifestyle? How does it change their lifestyle? Yeah, they're only happy, as Ron says, until the next statement comes in. Depending on what that is, they'll decide whether they're happy or not. See, they won't say, I made 30%, but I got cancer, but I'm still happy. I made 30%, but I'm getting a divorce. Oh, I'm still happy. I made 30%, but my child's getting a divorce, but I'm still happy. No, making 30% does not make them happy. Now, but does losing 30% make them unhappy? Does losing 30% make them unhappy? Sure it does. That does affect which car they'll drive, how long they're going to keep driving the current car, where they go on vacation, whether they even go out to eat. Whether losing 30% does affect people and their happiness. So we have the worst jobs in the world. If our job revolves around making them money, we can never make them happy. But boy, we can make them unhappy if they lose money. So what the study from Cerulli and Associates found is that performance has very little to do with referrals. Now let's talk about referrals, because they found is that loyal clients make referrals. Loyal clients make referrals. Now, here's the thing you have to understand about loyalty. 70% of loyal clients say they were likely to refer in the next 12 months. So here's a question you have to ask yourself. How many of my clients have referred clients to me in the last 12 months? Because in order for them to be loyal, they had to refer to you. So how many of your clients have referred to you in the last 12 months? Now, here's the kicker. Not only do loyal clients, 7% of loyal clients say they're likely to refer in the next 12 months, on average, loyal clients introduce 5.6 people to their advisors in the last 6 months. Loyal clients introduce 5.6 people to their advisors. Now, how many of your clients have referred one person, let alone 5.6 people? And you might be saying, well, but all of my clients are loyal. If they haven't referred, they're not loyal. Do you know what they are then? Let me ask you a question, guys. If your clients have not referred to you and they're not loyal, then what are they? They've stayed with you, so what are they? What would you classify them? Because this is what Cerulli and Associates, Dale's got it. What would you classify those clients as? If they're not loyal, they're what? They're with you. They stayed with you, so they're what? What would you say they are? If you stay with somebody, that means you're what? More people than Dale have to know this. You're what, guys? You're satisfied. So you have a bunch of satisfied clients. If they haven't referred to you, they're satisfied. What's the problem? What's the problem with a satisfied client? If you're satisfied with your dentist, will you stay with them forever? No. You'll stay with them until what? Well, how long will you stay with your dentist if you're satisfied with them? How long will you stay with your dentist if you're satisfied with them? Until you find something better. That's right, until you find something better. Now, if you're loyal to your dentist, you'll stay no matter what. If you're loyal to the dentist, it means I don't care if somebody's offering a better price. I'm staying with my dentist because he's been good to me. He's been great with my kids. I'm staying with him. The dentist next door has a whole bunch of technology. I don't care. I'm loyal to my dentist. That's the same way loyal clients are with you. If they're loyal, they're referring to you. They're never going to leave you. But satisfied clients are waiting until they hear and looking for something better. 88% of clients are satisfied. That means what percentage? And this is on average. This is on average per advisor, which means some advisors have 50% of their clients. I'll tell you one advisor we have, Tom, who has spoken on this call several times. His clients, basically 90% of them are loyal because 90% of them refer to him on a month-by-month basis. He's getting referrals from them. Most of his business in the last couple of years has come from referrals from his clients. And they refer big people. But that means if Tom has 90% loyal, that means other people have what? Because I've talked to some advisors and say, you need to go back to your clients. And they say, well, those clients aren't returning my calls. If your clients aren't returning your calls, would you say they're loyal? No. They haven't left you, so they're satisfied. But boy, are they going to move when they find something better? Yes, they are. So only 12% of 88% of clients are satisfied, but only 12% of clients say they're loyal. They're not looking for something better. They're going to stay with you. So what will create a loyal client? Well, it ends up being four factors. One is investment-oriented responsiveness, which means this. when the market goes down 20% and you don't call your client, is that investment-oriented? So this is not rate of return. This is not investment rate of return. It's investment-oriented responsiveness. So think about if your market goes down 20%, you darn well better be what? If the market goes down 10%, you darn better be what? Calling your clients. Now, what if a client says that they're worried about the market being down? I'm worried about the market being down. Will your competitors say things like, now, hey, don't worry, the market always comes back. We're in this for the long term. Look at this 100-year rate of return for the stock market. We got to take a breath. Just be calm here. We don't need to worry about the market going down because it's going to come back up. Do our competitors say things like that? Yes. What are they telling their clients when they say that? And I hope you don't say that to clients. I hope you don't say that to clients, because what are they telling their clients when they say stuff like that? Your fear is what? Your fear, your anxiety, that's right. Your concerns don't matter. Your fears are not right. Your fears are unfounded. Your fears are really an uneducated person. Here, listen to me. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry about it. Everything will be okay. Is that how is that really helping that client when you talk about that? So investment-oriented responsive means I understand. No, having the market go down 10% is worrying. I understand. I mean, that's 10% less than we had last year. That's $200,000 that we're down. That is real money. That took you a long time. I understand. That's investment-oriented responsive, and not waiting for the client to call, but you call them. You let them know you're watching their account. You let them know. That's what we're talking here with investment-oriented responsive. Not waiting for them to call. You call them. That's the first factor. Second factor is rapport. Third is professionalism, degree to which you are viewed as skilled and qualified. 4 is added value, non-investment offerings that create deeper bonds between you and your client. We're going to talk about some of those things here going forward. So 10 key steps of referral process. Number 1 is assess the reality. Are your clients loyal? So have they referred before? How long does it take to them respond back to you when you reach out to them? How willing are they to sit down with you? If they've never referred, you have to call them 4 or 5 times before they return your call, and they don't want to sit down with you. Do you have a loyal client, or are they a satisfied client looking for something better, waiting for something better to land in their laps? So assess, and guys, if you find out most of your clients are not loyal, what had you better be doing? Chop, chop. You'd better be what? Nurturing those clients. Nurturing, nurturing, nurturing. So how can you nurture those clients? Well, first of all, pick up the phone and call them and let them know what's happening with their investments, and that you understand how that relates to them and their experiences and their motivations and their anxiety and everything else. Make sure that you're looked at as a professional. How can you make sure you're viewed as a professional, guys? What are some ways you can make sure that they view you as a professional? What are some ways you can do that? Right upside down is the best way to do it while you're meeting with them. Absolutely. That's one of the best, easiest and best ways to do that. Absolutely. How about with your clients that are with you right now? What can you do on a regular basis to make sure they understand that you're a professional? How often should you be communicating with them? Drip, 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 drip. So in this, and Mark brings up drip, non-investment oriented stuff. Absolutely. But in this, because that is the most important thing, Mark. You hit it on the head. That is the most important thing. But as far as professionalism, we want the drips to actually be professional oriented. So you said non-investment. I'm going to talk about that here in a second, because in fact, that's number 4 here. Number 4, and it's green for a reason. So, but as far as letting them know you're professionals, you need to be communicating with them 2, 3, 4 times a month. Now, it doesn't need to be phone calls. It can be phone calls, but it could be emails. It could be via mail, etc. Giving them what? Updates on what's going with the market, ideas, like our newsletter that we give you every single month, ideas on how you are more, that you are more than just a salesman when it comes to their investments. You have non-investment oriented things that relate to their finances, and you can help them with that as well. So make sure you communicate with them on a regular basis. And Mark, you bring up the biggest thing you do is do added value non-investment offerings that create deeper bonds between you and your client. In fact, one of the things they found, one of the characteristics that Cerulli and Associates found that had occurred between the advisor and loyal clients is that the advisor had communicated with those loyal people at least twice a month about non-investment things. At least twice a month about non-investment things. So what are some things that you could do? And we're going to cover this more deeply here in a few minutes, but what are some things you could do that have nothing to do with their investments, nothing to do with their finances, so let them know that you care about them as a human being? What are some things you could do? What did I do 200 times a month when I was making $1 million a year? What did I do 200 times a month when I was making $1 million a year? Handwritten notes. Very good, Tom and Nick. Handwritten notes. Right, Mark. Handwritten notes. 200 times a month. 50 a week. So, and was it ever about their investments, or was it about what? Birthdays, holidays, anniversaries of the day they became my client, their child had graduated from college or high school? It's about non-financial things. That's the biggest way you can do it. So add non-value investment things. You're exactly right, Mark. That's the biggest thing. For professional, there are lots of things you can do to show that you're professional with communications that take very little time and effort. So first thing is assess your clients. How many of them are loyal? How many of them are dissatisfied? If they're dissatisfied, you need to start nurturing them with these types of things. Make sense? Make them go from satisfied to loyal. Now, if you're not, if you want one step further to find out whether your clients are loyal or not, or what they're actually looking for, we actually have a system for that. Under the low cost marketing, we have a 1-question survey system that you can do. So if you go there, this is what it looks like, and it's basically you're sending this to your clients and saying just one thing. We're going to go over that one question here in a second. Does it have to be mailed? Yes, without a doubt. Why is it important? How do I get started? Well, here's the actual survey. Please help, because guys, when you send somebody a long survey, even the ones that want to help you, they're busy. They're going to set it aside with good intentions of doing it later, and they're going to forget about it. But we're going to just send them for just ask one question. Please help me. I'm trying to understand better the things that most of my clients are concerned about. The question is, if you could hire the world's smartest financial expert to solve just one financial problem, worry, or frustration that people like you face, what would that thing be? What would that thing be? So first of all, this is telling you, if they don't get back to you, are they a loyal client? But how valuable would it be for you to know what the majority of your clients are worried about? What could you do with that information? What could you do with this information? How important, how valuable would this information be to you? Not just for this particular client that answers it, but for all your clients. Extremely valuable. And then we say, hey, we get more people. We draw 3 lucky clients. We'll win $100 gift cards, so you can draw that. This is important for guys. If they don't return this, they're not loyal. That means you better start nurturing them. Chop, chop. Make sense? So we give you a system to help you find out if you don't even want to go through this exercise. Well, then here's a quick way that we give you to determine whether they're loyal or not. If they're not loyal, they're not going to return this. If they are loyal, they are going to return this. Second thing is present your value every time you see them. How do we present our value every time we sit down with a client? How do we do that? Every time we sit down with our clients, we should be doing what? Guys, we go over the non-financial. We go over, have you done your survivor's guide? Have you addressed the fact that your power of attorney is not working with Social Security? Have you got your quality of life directive done? Have you done this, that, or the other thing? Now, we don't require them to do that, but we ask them. Why are we asking them? Guys, for 3 or 4 years, some of my clients, I said, did you do the survivor's guide yet? And they said, oh, no, shoot, I didn't do that. Do you have another one? So this is the 4th time I've given it to them. Say, oh, yeah, sure, no, I have it. Yep, and again, why is this important to have this done? Because with the non-financial, we're reminding them that we're more than just investment salespeople. We care about them. We care about their family. We care about things that can happen to them in life and making their lives easier. Now, we're not going to make them do these things. Asking them whether they got them done or not is just letting them know that, hey, we're about more than just the investments. And that really helps when the market is down 20%. Do you think that helps when the market is down 20%? That before you even talk about the market, and every single meeting prior to the market going down, you're always talking about these non-financial things? Does it let them know that you're more than just, your value is more than just whether the market goes up or down, whether the investments go up or down? It's a constant reminder of those things. Make sense? Good. Other thing you need to do, create a feeling of membership. So help their friends and family. How can we help their friends and family, guys? After we do a 21 Light and do those non-financial things for them, we ask them what? Do they have family and friends that would like me to do a non-financial 21 Light with them? Get these 7 non-financial documents taken care of, because if they don't have those things done, can it cause little problems or big problems? Big problems. And who are they going to come to? You, Mr. Client. So would you like me to make sure that you never have to, in a situation where you have to help your client, your friends, neighbors, relatives with these things? Let me sit down with them for a half an hour. We'll do these 7 non-financial documents, and that way their problems will never become your problems. So that's one way of creating a membership, membership. Having client get-togethers, whether it be holiday events like the Christmas Light Tour that we talked about here a few weeks ago, or a webinar, or lunch and learns, or focus groups. Having those photo collages that I talked about, where when you do a client get-together, you take photos of all those happy clients and you put them in collages around your office. That creates a feeling of membership. These are your clients. These are the group of happy people that all work with you. Having a client advisory board, which we also have a system for. These are things that create a feeling of membership. So find out if they're loyal. Make sure they understand that you are more than just an investment salesperson, and create a feeling of membership. Become a trusted resource. We do that we give you 5 Q monthly updates that you can give them. You can become a trusted resource about Lunch and Learns. What are some of the things that you could cover in Lunch and Learns? Could you have a realtor in to talk about downsizing? Could you have an accountant in to talk about tax savings techniques at the end of the year? Could you have a personal trainer in to talk about how to reduce the effects of aging. Can you see? You become a trusted source, not just for investments, but for their lives. You can do the same thing with webinars. Also, this is a non-finance thing. You can send them weekly emails of interesting articles. You become a resource of things that are of interest in their lives. And you want things that they would share with their friends and neighbors. Hey, did you know blah, blah, blah? Oh, where'd you hear that? Oh, it's an article one of my advisor, one of the articles my advisor sent me. It could be about finances. It could be something totally different from finances. This is how you become a trusted resource. Keep in touch. Handwritten cards, birthday cards, holiday cards, client anniversary. Not when they were married, but when they became your client. So if they became your client tomorrow, guess what you do a year from now? You'd send them a card welcoming on their first year anniversary of being with you. A just checking in card. Phone calls on any of these things. I had one advisor who had a really good voice. Every single year he called and sang, and I wouldn't do that. I feel I don't have a good voice, and nobody wants to hear my singing voice. I wouldn't do it. But he did that every year, and guess how much his clients loved the fact that he would call them and sing them happy birthday every single year. What do you think the likelihood of those clients are going to leave that advisor? And if they did leave that advisor, how sad would they be every birthday when their new advisor did not call them and sing a happy birthday to them? Now, I'm not saying that you should do that, but I'm saying find ways to keep in touch. As Mark pointed out earlier, the most important way to do it is non-financially. Non-financially is the most important. See, none of these have to do with finances. It lets them know that you're selling them investments and you only care about investments, or that you care about them as human beings. You care about them as human beings. Non-monetary contact. And then demystify the referral process. Let them know how they can refer to you. And we actually have a way to do that. With the 21 Light process, we walk you through exactly how to do that. And here's that little referral script. It's 5 minutes long, but actually it's 2 minutes long, and then I spent 3 minutes explaining why that 2-minute referral script works. So this is exactly how you ask for referrals, and it demystifies the referral process for them. And then please ask. Ask who you know. See, only 10% of advisors ask for referrals. Here's an easy, super easy way to ask referrals. Give them a frame of reference. Again, on our site, we give you a tool for this. Under the meeting process, new client / annual review, we give you a tool, which is right here. Help clients give referrals. It's a handout that you can have with you after you've covered the non-financial stuff with them, their survivor's guide, quality of life directive, whether they talk to their property casualty agent, their identity theft, all that. Well, after you've covered that stuff, then you've covered their investments. Then you whip out this handout. What is a handout? It's this. Who do you know that just moved to town? You have to give them, and you say, hey, do you know anybody that need my services? They're going to say, I'm not sure. Not really, because you put them on the spot. Instead, say, hey, do you know anybody that just moved to town? Do you know anybody that just got married? Do you know anybody that just got divorced? You know anybody just had a child or grandchild? You know anybody that has children going to college? You know anybody that turned 70 and a half? Anybody's changed jobs? Somebody turning 62 or 65 soon? Parent or spouse entering a nursing facility? You're giving them ideas. Because if you say, do you know anybody? They're like, no, I really don't. But if you say, hey, do you know anybody just moved to town? Oh, yeah. My sister moved back from Vegas to Minneapolis. Boom. Reason to talk to them. See, you're giving them a mindset of, oh, I don't know anybody that you should talk to, Mike, but I do know somebody that moved to town. Oh, wait, I do know somebody that just got divorced. Wait, I do know somebody that just turned 7 and a half. Wait, I do know somebody that just turned 65. See, then they're saying, oh, yeah, no, I guess that would be good for you to talk to them, Mike. See, you're giving them a frame of reference. Does that make sense? Give me Y's or N's if that makes, give me a Y if that makes sense, or an N if it doesn't. See, they did a study once. They've done the study several times. They said, ask people, write down as many things in the next minute that are in your refrigerator. Write down as many things as you can that are in your refrigerator in the next minute. And then they said, okay, now write down as many things that would go in your refrigerator that are white. And what do you think, when they had an unlimited amount of things to write down versus just the white things, which list do you think was longer? The one that was unlimited or the things that were white? Things that were unlimited or the things that were white? What do you think the people would be able to write down more items for? The one that was unlimited or the white? Yeah, the white. The white, because they start to think, oh, what's white? Cottage cheese, sour cream, milk, regs. See, they started to think of things that were right, where if you said unlimited, they would, there's just too big a scope and they would freeze. Does that make sense? So this helps them with a frame of reference. They don't know anybody they should refer to you, but they do know these things. And then you're like, oh, well, I can help your client that just got married. I can help your client that just got divorced. I can help. Maybe we should talk to them about this stuff. Make sense? Because if they just moved to town, would it be good for them to do a 21 light, guys? If they just get married, would it be a good thing for them to do 21 light? If they just got divorced, would it be a good thing to do 21 light? If they just turned 7.5 or turned 62, 65, would it be a good thing for them to do a 21 light? Yes. And then do your homework and network where your clients spend time. What do you think I mean by that? If you want, if many of your clients are gardeners and they belong to a gardening club, guess what you should be doing? If many of your clients are motorcycle aficionados and they belong to riding clubs, guess what you need to do? If you want clients like that, if your clients spend a lot of time with Rotary, what should you join? So find the clients that you'd like to replicate. Find the clients you'd like to duplicate. Find what they do in their spare time. And if you want to find clients just like that, guess where you should be spending your spare time? If you want clients just like that, where should you be spending your time? Where they spend their time. Does that make sense? If they play pickleball, guess what you better be doing? Playing pickleball. And when they refer to you, please, please, please acknowledge them and thank them for giving you referrals. Make sense? Good. So any questions about the tools for referrals and why you should be doing these referrals? Coolio. Okay, well then we're going to go. Well, first of all, was this helpful to review this information on referrals? Y or N? Is this helpful or not helpful? To kind of let you remember, have you remember all the tools that are on the website, because were all of you aware of every single tool that I pointed out? At one point you were, but were you familiar with them, all of them, or was this a good review? Good, everything is a good review. Cool. Okay, so this week's review on scripting wise is going to be on identity theft. So we'll go to first thing before we go to identity theft. I wanted to make sure you understood that you can order free identity theft booklets here. They used to be 32 pages long, but Missy or Tricia, are they 32 pages long anymore?
No, they are not.
But you can still order them, right?
Yep, you sure can.
And then it's like a 4-page review. And then inside here, those 32 pages are actually going to be referenced. It's going to tell the client or whoever reads this to go to a website, the FTC website, and they can get the 32 pages on that website. Now, we actually have them printed in our 21-point checklist for those of you who want to do that. Make sense? So let me see here. I've got to get out of here and get into meeting process. 21-point checklist. And we're going to go to the training video. And we're going to go down to identity theft. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I got to get my thing out. Oh, and guys, do they charge you for those booklets? They do not. So they send you a box of 50 of them at no charge whatsoever. So you all need to have these things. And the nice thing is you can actually print them in the 21-point checklist. Even though they only give you the 4-page, you get the whole kit and caboodle in the 21-point checklist now. So here we go.
These things are kind of under the surface of your finances, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and are they important or not important in the long run?
No, they're important.
Yeah. So the next thing we would like to talk about is identity theft plan. Is identity theft a problem in today's world?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
happens
it is
all the time.
It does, right? And even if we're take care and are careful with our identity, what do we hear on the news constantly?
That some company got hacked and all their information was stolen.
Right. So even if we do a good job, we're still have to worry about it or not have to worry about it?
No, you still have to worry about it.
Yeah. So, and should we be proactive or should we be reactive when it comes to those things?
I'd say proactive.
Proactive. So what we want, and why does it make sense to be proactive?
Well, you want to do whatever you can to make sure it doesn't happen in the first place.
Right. And then, so we do what we can. One of the things, this is our identity theft plan that we give to our clients. And the first thing we recommend that people do is they contact Experience or TransUnion or Equifax. You don't have to contact all three, just one of them, and they're responsible for contacting the other two.
Okay.
So do these names, any of these names, ring a bell to you?
Yeah, those are the credit reporting bureaus.
Yes, and you can put a fraud alert with one of these for free, and they'll contact if somebody's trying to open accounts with your identity.
Okay.
And it's free. If it's free, what should we do?
Go ahead and do it.
Because it just is a phone call. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also, we recommend that you get copies of everything in your wallet.
So guys, what else? We talked about this about a month or two ago. What else would, at this point, which I did not do in this, but what else would be an awesome thing to be talking about right there when it comes to the credit services? Talked about this here a month or two ago. Said it'd be good for you to talk to all your current clients about it. If it's good for your current clients, that's right. Freeze your credit. Freeze your credit. Freeze your credit. And could you go through why that would make sense? First of all, how easy it is to do, how it would prevent fraud in the first place. So yeah, that's a great thing to be going through right now, which I did not, but I would be doing that in today's world.
In your purse, because if it's stolen or lost, do you know everything that's in your wallet?
No. Well, no, not really.
And even if you did, would you know the phone numbers to call and tell those people?
No.
And things as simple as your healthcare card or your library card can be backtraced, and people can get your identity using just things as simple as that. So the reason it would make sense to have that information is because do you think the longer it goes, the better, or the longer?
And guys, I also talked about this a couple of months ago. First of all, is everybody's identity already gone and out there? You know, I talked about the small business loan that happened to me. Is everybody's information already out there? Yes, it is. They know your birth date. They know your social security number. They know your address. They even know your driver's license number. They can get that information already. So why should we be going through this? Should we still go through this with a client? Yes, because do they know that? No. And this identity theft is more for how to minimize the problem if it happens more than preventing it from happening, because it's going to still happen. But one thing that will prevent it from happening is what? What's the one thing that will, more than anything else, will prevent them from grabbing your ID and running with it? Freezing. That's right. Freezing your credit.
Before you address it is going to get worse.
No, the longer you take to address it, it only gets worse.
Right. So if you had all this information at your fingertip, what's in your wallet and what's in your purse, that would be a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, that would be a good thing.
It'd be a hassle, but how quick could you call those places?
Right away.
Yeah, and then they could put a freeze on those things. Now, there's other things too, like what to do right away. This tells you what to do right away if something happens. What to do next tells you how you should contact the police and what you should do. It talks about certain accounts and how to deal with them. Special forms you'd need for identity theft. So would it be better to have all these things right at your fingertips, or for you to be trying to figure out what should I do now if any of these things happen?
No, you'd rather have it right at your fingertips.
Yeah, so we always make sure our clients have this, and we always step in to help them if something happens. And it's pretty darn easy for us to step in because we've already given them what?
You've already given them the map.
And we've helped them prevent damage by doing what with the Experian and
putting a credit freeze on your accounts.
And again, it's another fun thing to talk about, getting our identity theft. But why, as an advisor, do I cover this?
So that you don't end up getting your identity stolen and then your bank account's drained.
Exactly. So again, if I just sold investments as an investment salesman, I could see. But if I'm a financial advisor, my job is to provide advice on what?
Making sure people keep the money that they have.
Right. And this is an example of that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. So that's the identity theft plan.
So again, if I did that identity theft plan and at the end didn't have them, now what did I not say there that I wish I would have said? What did I not say there? Now I did say a little bit. I'm going to back it up just a few seconds. Let's look at, because remember, just covering the problems is not good enough. The whole purpose of all these things is get them to leave their current advisor. Realize that the current advisor is a salesperson, not an advisor. So let's see how I do that. And I do it, but could I have done it better? Absolutely. So let's listen to how I did it, and then let's talk about how I could have done it better.
them if something happens. And it's pretty darn easy for us to step in because we've already given them what?
You've already given them the math.
And we've helped them prevent damage by doing what with the Experian and
putting a credit freeze on your account.
And again, it's another fun thing to talk about, getting our identity theft. But why as an advisor, do I cover this?
So that you don't end up getting your identity stolen and then your bank account drained.
Exactly. So again, if I just sold investments as an investment salesman, I could see. But if I'm a financial advisor, my job is to provide advice on what?
Making sure people keep the money that they have.
Right. And this is an example of that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
So if I didn't cover these things, what kind of advisor would be? A good one or a bad one? A bad one. If I didn't cover things like it, I know we're talking about all these boring things, but if I didn't cover power of attorney, if I didn't cover quality of life insurance, if I didn't cover identity theft, and said, all of you talk about your investments, let's just talk about your investments. Well, that's what an investment salesperson would do. But are you looking for a salesperson or do you want an advisor? No, I want an advisor. That would have been a better way to do that. And would anybody get mad at me for asking those 3 simple questions? Would anybody get mad at me for asking those 3 simple questions at the end of the identity theft? Y or N? So I got 1 N. Y or N? And if you be honest, if you think people would be mad and say, get to the point, Mike, why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep repeating those things? Here's the thing that you have to understand. We have 60,000 tapes. This has been done probably 120,000 times because we actually quit archiving the tapes back in 2018. So all these meetings have been done since 2018. We don't even archive. But for the first 15, 16 years, we have these conversations archived. And guess how many people get mad at advisors for asking those questions? Nobody does. But you have to ask those questions. You have to. So they start to connect the dots. Wait a minute. Yeah, you'd be a bad advisor. You'd be a bad advisor. Wait a minute. You're not my advisor. My advisor hasn't done this. My advisor's a bad advisor. We need them to start connecting those dots. This is where we're having them imprinting, right? Or imprinting on the fact that their advisor is only a salesperson, not an advisor. Because if they were an advisor, they would be covering these things. And we don't mention their advisor, so they can't defend their advisor because there's no way they can defend their advisor because I'm talking about me. I apologize for me covering these things. I know they're boring. I know they're putsy. I know they're dry. I know they're not sexy. We'll get to the sexy stuff with your investments here in a second. But if I didn't cover these things, are these things financial or not financial? No, they're financial. And if I didn't cover them, would I be an investment salesperson or advisor? No, you'd be just as investment. See, I'm talking about me, but in their minds, they're connecting the dots. Wait a minute, you're not even my advisor. My guy is a salesperson. He never covered these things. Does that make sense? You have to do this. So I have a question, where do I get these things again? Well, if we go to minimize and go to slideshow. So if you go to the identity theft portion of the 21-point checklist, and then you'll see here where you can order the theft booklets right here. And then this will come up, and this is where you can order them. I guess you can order quantities all the way up to 100. It used to be just 50. I suppose now that they only have 4 pages, they're willing to send you more at a shot.
And actually, the 100 is the least amount that you can order now. So they've changed them.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So you get 100 whether you want it or not. So good.
Correct.
So that makes sense, guys. That's how you use identity theft as another way to get them to start to be their death grip loosened on their advisor. Make sense? So that's what we're going to cover today's script call. And what time is it now here? 50. So at the top of the hour, we'll go ahead. For those of you going to be on the script call, we're going to cover this in a little bit more depth. It's not very complicated, so it won't be a long call, but we'll make sure we get the high points there. So thanks for being on the call. Make sure you're getting those referrals. Make sure you're getting out and coaching and advising your clients that now is the time to be doing something, not at the end or at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year. Now is the time to be doing it. And I appreciate all you guys. We'll talk to you all next Monday. And those of you that are going to be on the script call will be on in about 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.